I'm Sally. I live in Brisbane. I live on the south side of Brisbane, just like in the 20 k's out of the CBD. And I live in the world of events. So pivot, 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 and pivot some more. So I came into boot camp in 2019, the B School, probably the same time as you, Michelle, through that program, I think. And I think the community, you know, the Facebook community has been really amazing in relation to that. And I've just restarted boot camp again, and yeah, just focusing even more, even stronger into it. So I essentially, I started to think about that I curated my own MBA last year. So I signed up for a lot of different things and went through the whole process of, oh, I'm buying courses and I'm not doing them, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, that's just another one, that kind of thing. And then I went, no, hang on a minute. I was looking at study. I was looking at doing a degree. And I looked at each content of each one and went, oh, actually, this is just a 21st century MBA. This is just how I do that now. So it's been really interesting to look at it from that perspective. But I'm back in a job again this year. So, which was only meant to be April, but the latest, you know, stuff going on, I said to my supervisor yesterday, oh, I might need to keep a job for a bit longer, which is really disappointing. And hopefully, but it's a pattern. It's a pattern of going into business, it not going so great, then getting a job. And I've attached those times to various you know, GST coming in, various different, the GFC. So I'm exploring at the moment whether they're just anchors I've attached it to, or it's fears that come up. But anyway, so the work that I do now that I'm using Money Bootcamp for is, so I produce events, but I also do event management workshops. So I train you in event management. I have a coaching program. I also have an online course that you can just do, but the niche is making it easy. So I get you to think about things a little bit differently. And Denise, you might recall your video on doing your event in the cinemas. That was my share. It's that kind of thing that I like to share with people. Someone I was talking to yesterday, we were talking about registration. I'm like, why do you even need a registration system? Like, do you need one? We've all landed in this space where we think we need them. So that's the kind of stuff I do.
And you know what? I mean, it might not be this year, but next year, everyone will be looking for how to run an event, how to do an event. So at least you can take this moment to prepare for that.
That's exactly right.
You know,
I mean,
get your ducks in order.
Yeah, I did identify about 18 months ago, really. Well, probably more than that, 2.5 years ago now. I think that COVID 18 months, we've sort of taken out of our brain for some reason. But less and less people hiring professional planners and just trying to do it themselves. So lots of inexperienced people really struggling and very stressed out. And I want to make it fun because it is fun.
Absolutely. You can be there when they Google how to run a retreat, how to run a small event, how to run a COVID safe event, how to do the blah, blah, blah. You can be creating all of those resources now because it'll be, especially next year, I reckon it will be absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Awesome. So thank you for what you've created because it's been amazing.
Here's where I want us to start. Okay. If we talk about mateship and friendliness and being down to earth as one of our unofficial values, I had an epiphany about 3 years ago, and I want to hear for anyone who wants to speak to this, but I think everyone will. I realized that my mateship extended to my pricing because we literally say mates rates in Australia. So I was thinking, it's okay for me to charge Americans, but it's not okay for me to charge Australians because they're my mates, they're my family. And then I realized it started extending. It extended to New Zealand, and then it started extending to the UK because I was like, but I come from the UK like a couple of generations back, so they're kind of my family too. So it's not very matey of me. It's not mateship to charge my friends and family. And I had to really work on that it's okay for me to charge Australians. It's okay for me to market to Australians. And especially since I charge in US dollars, it was like a double whammy of like, oh my God, I'm not allowed to charge my mates and I'm not allowed to charge them US dollars. So who's got something that they want to say about that? Yay. All right, who's got another example of that, of not feeling like you can charge Australians? Yeah, Sally, you go next, and then Michelle, and then Crystal, and then Sam, you can go after that too.
Okay, so not Australians, but mates. And something that just came up when you said that is because the sales process takes a longer period of time. It's not a consumer product. It's not like they walk in a shop and buy it. Thanks very much. See you later. You know, we have to, well, we don't have to, but we do. We groom the prospect, and, you know, we're engaging with them for often a long period of time. And because I want to work with people that I like, and I don't want to work with people I don't like, they often become friends. And so now I'm just looking back at like my last 4 clients going, my God, they became friends. And the minute they decided that they were ready to work with me, I halved the price. I gave them mates rates, and I didn't even know them beforehand. Holy crap.
That's big. Yep.
Yeah, that's huge. Gosh, how do I get around that? Okay, I need to notice that.
Okay, Sally, how about this? It's safe for me to charge my mates.
It's safe for me to charge my mates, but it's safe for me to charge my mates the normal price.
Yes. It's safe for me to charge my mates full price. Yeah, that's a big one. And especially if you've got a connector type personality, everyone becomes your friend. And so there's no non-exception because everyone's your friend. And I just feel like it's so amplified in Australia because mateship is just such a part of our culture. And mates rates is an Australian phrase in a way. So it's safe for me to charge my friends, it's safe for me to charge my mates full price. Or it could even be, you could switch it. And this is the point of coming up with these affirmations, is to find one that feels a bit pointy. And it could be, it's safe for me to receive full price from my friends. Because sometimes they're willing to pay the full price. We're not willing to receive it. And so that could be that it's safe for me to receive. It's safe for me to accept my friends' trust in me and my business acumen. It could be something like, I've got goosebumps on that one. You know, me and my friends, we do charge each other a lot of the time. Sometimes we don't, but it's that intention of, I respect you in your work, and you have to receive that. It's safe for me to receive that. So Sally, that's amazing. You want to say, yeah, go on.
You've just reminded me actually of another occasion where a friend bought my workbook. And so the workbook has been online for $27, $47, but it started at $99. And of course, I dropped the price because you do. And she bought it at $99, and I still want to give her the money back. Like every time I see her, I'm like, oh, I really must give you that $99 back. Oh my God.
So I'm just checking on the time. So we've got about 10 minutes left. So I would love to hear just one more thing from each person. Maybe a block that you've worked on in the last year, especially in boot camp. And it could be a breakthrough that you have, or it could be something that you're still working on. And, you know, when I think about this conversation about being in Australia, I think one thing that's really a recurring thing for me that I always have to work on is being down to earth. And I realized the last couple of years I've stopped sharing some things. Like I've stopped doing my year in reviews because I think, oh, it's not that relatable. It's not that down to earth to say, oh, look how much money I've made. Like, what a wanker. Who's going to see this in my family, or who's going to see this in my neighborhood? And, you know, that for me is always recurring, is having to work on that down to earthness, which I think is very uniquely Australian. So how about Sally, let's start with you again. Just something that you're still working on, or something that you've learned about yourself in the last year from boot camp.
Yeah, excellent. Oh God, thanks everyone for your contributions. That's been amazing. So like I said, I'm sort of taking a much more serious look at bootcamp right now. I had a hugely successful year last year, yet I find myself with a job. It's all gone, all spent. So looking at, oh God, how did that happen? Why did that happen? I know how it happened. Why did it happen? And I'm doing sabotages right now. And it was really interesting because I started writing what I thought the sabotage was. And then I just kept writing and just, sorry, I'm going to get a bit emotional, but as things just kept coming into my head, all those, sorry, I didn't want to do this. All of those surface ones weren't true, or they're true, but they weren't the real reason. And I found it, I can't get it out of my head. It's so fascinating. You know, what those real reasons were, but it was actually the art of just every thought that came into my head, like someone else was talking to me. I kept writing those down, and when I looked at that list, I was like, holy shit, it's me. It's not like I had this idea that it was because I didn't want people to be hurt, or I didn't want them to be concerned about change or any of these things. It was actually me that didn't want any of those things. Sorry.
Don't apologize. This is the work, right? It's emotional, and it's excavating years and years of stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know where that came from. I'm working on how to get rid of it. So yeah.
So what
Sorry,
would
everyone.
No, this is beautiful. And what would you say to someone who is maybe, you know, where you were of this start of the journey of even looking at your money stuff, knowing that it's never really finished?
Yeah, no, it isn't ever really finished. Don't multitask while you're doing it. It's probably I've really focused on it this time. Instead of, so I would not, like I've got devices galore, I would normally have you running on a video over here while I'm writing or typing, and I'm kind of checking emails at the same time. So I'm going through the course, and I can satisfy the neurological need to click lesson complete. I've done that bit, and I can finish because I can't stand anything not being finished. And so this time it's really been, no, you're just going to sit here for an hour and you're going to watch the video, and you're not going to write at the same time. You're just going to watch the video and then go through each bit and just sit here for an hour and just let it rattle around in your head and write down whatever comes. So that would be my advice, is don't try and multitask. If you I guess I'm getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's my, I feel like that's going to be my journey for a little bit. Uncomfortable conversations, uncomfortable conversations in my head. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, Sally. It's like, it's really yucky to look at this stuff sometimes and finding new layers and looking at your patterns and your recurring sabotages. It can be really painful.
And it's easy to ignore it. Like I've ignored it for 55 years. So it's really easy, and it would still be easy to go, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm going to put that away. But the result, I don't want that result anymore. You know, I've had lots of money. I was in another program, and when I started yours, I started to write out, you know, I'm a really good money manager. I get large sums of money all the time. And, you know, all of these things that I write out every day for like 90 days. And I've sat back and started reading back on those and noticing in that, yeah, I actually do get large sums of money all the time. So I can make money really easily. I think that's probably my money drop moment, is I can make money, no problem. I just can't keep it. So anyway, I'll let someone else talk.
But that's the next level, right? That's the next thing to work on. And sometimes with the excavation work, it creates a little landslide that makes things a little bit worse in some areas for a while. And then sometimes you're just working on one bit for a bit and you've ignored that it's still shit over here. So it's the work, right? And you're doing it. You're on the
It
journey.
is. So thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. No, it's good. I'm not scared of tears. We love it. Thanks, Sally. I so appreciate it.